Namaste, I'm Manisha Davar and I welcome you to the 8th episode of Understanding Aviation with MD. In continuation to the previous episode on emergencies, in this episode we will talk about safety demonstration, brace positions, critical phases of flight, and commonly used terminologies like pan-pan, mayday, black box, and ELT. Let's start by understanding about safety demonstration. Safety demonstration can be provided to passengers via a pre-recorded video or manual safety demonstration. When a cabin crew does manual safety demonstration, it is supported by a pre-recorded announcement, or one of the cabin crew is often heard making these announcements. Why is it important to do the safety demonstration? Not everyone is aware of all parts of the aircraft, the emergency exits, where life vests are placed, etc. Hence, it is important for cabin crew to make passengers aware of the aircraft, its parts, and emergency duties that the passengers are expected to perform. Irrespective of you being a first-time flyer or a frequent flyer, you must see the safety demonstration carefully. You must be aware of how to fasten your seatbelt, open it when required, be aware of emergency exit doors, which is the nearest emergency exit, where is the life jacket placed, and how can you use it in case of a ditching. Ditching is an emergency landing that happens on water. You must also be aware of presence of oxygen mask in your aircraft and how to use it in case of an emergency. These oxygen masks deploy automatically in case of a decompression. While you're seated on your seat, you must go through the safety information card and the brace position mentioned there. Now, what is a brace position? Brace position is the safest position that a passenger or a cabin crew can assume in case of an emergency. While cabin crew assume this position for every takeoff and landing, it is good for passengers to be aware of this position. In case there is an unplanned emergency, you may hear your captain or cabin crew say, "brace for impact." This may differ from airline to airline, but what they are trying to indicate is that there is an unplanned emergency and you must now be ready to assume your brace positions. In case of a planned emergency, you can still hear this command, "brace for impact," when the cabin crew knows that you are about to touch down soon. This position is to be assumed to reduce any injuries to personnel. This position helps your body take the impact of crash landing. Your next question could be, if you could assume a brace position for every takeoff and landing. It is a good practice, you may do that. Takeoff and landing are considered as the critical phases of flight, where there are maximum chances of any emergency happening. What can you as a passenger do to ensure safe operations during critical phases of flight? During critical phases of flight, you must not use mobile phones. You must switch off all electronic devices. Ensure that your baggage are properly stored so that it doesn't become an hindrance in case of an evacuation. Ensure that your tray table is closed and locked so that you don't hit onto it in case of an impact. Your seat back is upright. That enables your back to take the impact and also ensures that there is easy evacuation. The passenger behind you is not stuck. During all phases of flight, it's important to stay vigilant. If you observe any unusual sound, vibration, smell, smoke, or you observe fire outside, you must immediately inform cabin crew. Ensure that you are not creating panic in cabin. If you observe that the cabin crew is engaged in other duties and is taking more time to attend your call bell, there is no harm in getting up and approaching the cabin crew. Before you do so, please ensure that the seatbelt signs are off. If the seatbelt signs are on, you must repeatedly press the call button to gain their attention. Provide facts. Ever since the recent crash, you have been hearing the terminologies pan-pan, mayday. Now, what is the difference between pan-pan and mayday? Mayday is used by a commander, the person flying the aircraft, in case of a situation where he definitely knows that it is a life-threatening situation and he requires urgent help. They pronounce this word mayday thrice to indicate urgency and gain attention from the air traffic controller. Pan is used in case of an emergency where there is no life-threatening situation. However, they would need assistance in priority. Again, pan is used thrice in a row to indicate emergency situation. Black box, unlike its name, is actually bright orange or yellow in color. It consists of two components, flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder. Before we understand more about these recording systems, let's understand few facts about black box. Black box is so designed that it can withstand extreme heat and pressure. It is usually bright orange or bright yellow in color that makes it easy to identify in between wreckage. DFDR stands for Digital Flight Data Recorder. It is a crucial component of an aircraft's black box that records vital flight data during operation. It captures a wide range of parameters, including airspeed, altitude, heading, engine performance, and control surface positions. These are essential for accident investigations and safety analysis. The data from DFDR along with CVR, cockpit voice recorder, helps investigate, reconstruct flight events, and determine the causes of an incident. While the DFDR records flight data, the cockpit voice recorder records sounds within the cockpit, including pilot conversations, radio transmissions, and other cockpit sounds like engine noise. When we talk about aircraft emergencies, we should also talk about ELT, Emergency Locator Transmitter. It is a crucial safety device designed to transmit distress signals in the event of an aircraft accident. These signals broadcast on specific frequencies. They aid search and rescue teams in locating the downed aircraft and its occupants. It is important to know that this is an inbuilt feature of many aircrafts, and there are often an additional ELT kept on aircraft which the cabin crew member carry with themselves in case of an emergency evacuation. These ELTs are carried by cabin crew only in case the aircraft has experienced emergency, a crash landing or ditching outside the airport premises. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to like, share and subscribe to know more about aviation emergencies. See you soon.